Hello, everyone. Welcome to session 0.5 of the first of the longer side tracks for YAAS, which is a game where we will be playing Star Trek Adventures. First thing we're going to do is actually go over a little bit of the mechanics of Star Trek Adventures with the group, because I think Ari and I are the only two people that have actually played it before, and I know that it was a while for both of us. So we're doing a refresher of Star Trek Adventures. It is a modifius 2d20 system. So what I'm going to do right now is actually just ask everybody to have their character sheets in front of them and be able to roll at least 2d20. And then what I'm going to, actually the other thing, but actually we were talking about before we started recording, was this is not going to be like the full big like Star Trek Adventure Starfleet kind of thing. We will not be playing as Starfleet characters. We will not be pairing characters even in the Federation. Surprise when, well, I'm not going to tell you exactly what's going on, but surprise, surprise, that's happening. Also, don't expect me to use all the mechanics. There are some mechanics of Star Trek Adventures that I, as the storyteller / game master / DM / whatever, do not really feel are necessary. We at YAAS generally just use the dice and the mechanics as ways to influence storytelling. So there are some things that I find a little crunchy in Star Trek Adventures, and I will just not be using them. So if you're like, that's not how you do it, I don't care. I'm more about in service of the story than this. I'm like, 2d20, we'll use momentum and we'll use threat, and we'll use d6s for damage. That's pretty much what we're using for the Star Trek Adventures for. So speaking of momentum and threat, we're going to talk about what they are just before the start of the game, because that is something that momentum is for you guys. Momentum is for y'all, the players. And then threat is something that I, as the storyteller, get to use. And I will be using ST for this as storyteller, because also Star Trek ST, it just makes me feel really special. And there are no dungeons. So, momentum. This is on page 83 of the book. I don't know what page it is in the PDF. Whenever a character attempts a task and scores a greater number of successes in the difficulty, these excess successes become momentum, a valuable resource that allows character to complete the task more successfully, more quickly, and more thoroughly. So, again, it's on page 84. I'll let you guys read about the rest of it. The way that they recommend showing, keeping track of your momentum is with like little things like this, little coins or discs or whatever. You could also just write it down on a piece of paper. Whatever works best for you guys as the players is up to you. You're adults, you can do what you want. You start the game with, you start missions with no momentum. You start with 0. Yes, Pax, did you have a question? You were touching your nose.
I was like, me? I'm an adult? What?
Yes.
Sorry. I didn't know you were, don't look at me.
So you can either, again, this is on page 84 and 85. So you can save your momentum. So let's say you succeed extraordinarily and you get 2 momentum. You can save it for a later time, or you can use your momentum immediately. Common uses for momentum. This is on page 85 of the book. You can create an advantage. What that does is spending 2 momentum establishes some new advantage. So you can use to remove a complication. I'm not really going to be using complications. Create an opportunity, which is immediate or repeatable. Basically what this does is you get to roll another die. Is to add bonus d20s to a task. So instead of rolling 2 d20s, if you spend a momentum, you'd be able to spend, the first die costs 1 momentum, the second one costs 2 momentum, and so forth. So if you want to roll 3 d20, you would spend 1 momentum. If you want to roll 4 d20, you would have to spend 3 momentum. If you wanted to roll 5 d20, you would have to spend 6 momentum. You can create a problem. You can obtain information. So if you are like so something happens and you want to learn more about a situation, each point of momentum that you spend can be used to ask the Game Master, ST, a single question about the current situation or an item, object, structure, creature, or character present or irrelevant to the scene at hand. The Game Master must answer this question truthfully, but the game master doesn't have to give complete information, a partial or brief answer. So if you guys are doing some espionage thing and you're like, you have momentum, you want to spend momentum, you get it immediately, and you're like, I want to know more about, the lay of the land. Like, is it rocky? What about over here? Whatever it is. And then I have to answer that truthfully. I can't be like, oh no, it's fine. And then you guys fall into a pit. I'd have to be like, whatever that is. Threat is something that I get as the game master. I start with 2 threat per player. So I start with 8 threat. And I get to use it basically for the NPCs and stuff the same way you guys do get to use your momentum. So I get to use it to roll extra d20s, for non-player. It's basically non-player character momentum and creating complications, bringing in reinforcements, and further things like this. The next thing we're going to talk about is determination. You begin each session with a single point of determination. One point of determination. This is how you use your determination. A character's values can help a character in difficult situations. So you have your values that you did when you created your character. They often provide an additional push to succeed, as the character's convictions drive them to achieve more than they might have done otherwise. Whenever a character is attempting a task for which one of their values would be an advantage, they may spend 1 point of determination. And this is on page 87. And those will, if you spend that point of determination, you get a perfect opportunity, or a moment of inspiration, or a surge of activity, or make it so. So, I'll let you guys look that up in the PDF or in the book if you have it. The way you gain determination is by challenging your character's values. Some situations are not as simple as a value either helping or hindering. Some situations may put a character in a difficult situation where their values are sorely tested, shaking their worldview considerably. Once during a mission, if a character has a value which could affect their task or situation negatively, they may challenge that value. The character immediately gains a point of determination and then crosses out the challenged value, meaning that it cannot be used again for the remainder of the mission. So that's how you will gain determination. You can only have 3 determination at a time, up to 3. So you start with 1 and you can have 3 at a time, up to 3. So that's like kind of the extra stuff that we don't really get with like Dungeons and Dragons and other games like that. Threat, momentum, and determination. The next thing we're going to go over is what are called tasks. Now the tasks are how you're going to roll the dice. I'm going to ask for a dice roll, and this is how we use the 2d20s. The way that I have it worked in my head is how difficult and how many successes you have to get to make the task succeed. So I determine from any number from 0 to 5. And then I would ask you to roll something. So I'm actually going to do that right now. So I will either tell you what the number is, how many successes you need to get, or I will tell you how many I will not, depending on the situation. So I'm going to start with Ari because Ari has played before. So the way this works is you roll 2d20. So I'm going to tell you which attribute and which discipline are appropriate for the task being attempted. So let's say it's Eiler. And you're in a situation in which you are trying to sneak onto an enemy base. And I say use daring plus security. So Eiler takes those 2 numbers. What is your daring, Eiler?
11.
And what is your security?
4.
4. And that target number that Eiler is got is 15. Daring plus security. Eiler rolls 2d20. Each die that rolls equal to or less than the target number is a success.
I have an 11 and a 15, so 1 success.
Okay. And then here's another thing. If there is an applicable focus, if Eiler has espionage or sneaking or stealth, then each die that rolls equal to or less than the discipline being used scores 2 successes. Yes,
Would you?
Amelie. Yes.
You said equal to or less than,
Yes.
and so Ari rolled 15 and 11. So wasn't that 2 successes?
Yeah, I'm explaining the rest of it. So right now, as it stands, as of right now, they have 2 successes because the 15 and 11 are both a success. But this is part A of the number. If there was an applicable focus, then each die roll that rolls equal to or less than being used scores 2 successes. So is there a particular focus that you may have, Eiler, that would help with this?
Would you accept guerrilla tactics?
Sure. So what that means is Eiler, using their guerrilla tactics, rolls 4 successes because each of those 1 success becomes 2 successes. If there isn't an applicable focus, each die roll that rolls 1 scores 2 successes. In this, a 1 is a critical. It doesn't matter if there's any applicable focus, whatever it is, if you roll a 1, that's automatically 2 successes. Each die that rolls a 20 causes a complication. That's a critical fail, something bad might happen. And then if the number of successes scores equal to or exceeds the difficulty of a task, then the task is completed. I set the difficulty in my head of 3. So what that means is the task is successful and Eiler gets a point of momentum because that's 1 more success they got than they needed. And so Eiler gets that point of momentum that they can use now to ask questions. They can use it later to create an advantage or to roll an extra die or whatever. So Eiler has started their momentum pool. And then I would describe the outcome of the cast. Yes, sorry. Yes, Amelie.
Okay, so I understood everything that you just said.
Yes.
And you mentioned that a difficulty could be on anywhere from a scale of 1 to 5.
0 to 5.
Excuse me, 0 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I just heard is that basically the maximum roll is normally 4. What is the how could someone get to 5 success?
That's when you would use your momentum to roll an extra d20.
Thank you.
Yes, that's what the momentum is used for. Because if it's an extraordinary... I will generally tell you what the difficulty is. Like, I will say the difficulty is 2. And if you think you're going to succeed with just the d20s, then you can just roll 2. But if I'm like, the difficulty is 4, and you're like, oh man, I don't think I'm going to make that with just 2, that's when you would spend your momentum to roll 3 d20s or 4 or whatever it is. So now Eiler has 1 momentum. Who would like to try rolling dice next? Amelie, let's go for it. Okay. You are trying to stabilize a species that you have never worked on before. So that is going to be a medicine roll. So what is Teslin's reason number?
Teslin's reason number is... Oh, fudge. That is 10.
Okay, and then plus your medicine.
Plus my medicine is 4, so that's 14.
So 14 or under is what you're trying to get. And
also, yeah.
Go ahead.
I do have a focus in xenobiology.
Fantastic. So that means that any success you get is 2 successes. Yes.
So I got a 2 and an 18. So I got 2 successes.
And yeah, the difficulty was 2. So you meet the task, you succeed, but you don't get any momentum because you just met the difficulty. So that's how that works. So we figured out this one. Okay, who wants to be next? June or Talk? June. Okay.
I'll go next. Yeah.
Okay, it's engineering. It's this bucket, this rust bucket that you are working on. It is, you have a part that you got from somewhere that you have to jerry-rig into this ship. And it's gonna take some doing. So I'm going to need you to roll, and I'm not talking about just take some doing mentally, but literally physically. It is going to take you it's going to be a hard thing for you to do physically to get this thing to work. So I need you to make a fitness engineering roll. So what is June's fitness?
All right. What's the nature of the part, out of curiosity?
I don't know. It's like a big coil that needs to be attached. It's like a cooling coil. It's a coolant coil that you're trying to attach to the thing so the warp core doesn't blow up.
All right. Oh shit! So I have a 7 fitness and a 5 engineering, so 12. I got a 3 and a 14. So 1 success. Will you take improvisation as a focus?
I will absolutely take improvisation as a focus.
All right, so 2 successes.
This is the very, very epitome of improvisation. Taking some technology should not play well with this other technology and making it work.
Nice.
So that's how that's this. We're just all kind of doing a practice on this one. So again, the difficulty on that was 2. You figure it out. You make it work. It looks real awkward, but it's in place. It's not going to fall apart. You don't think anytime soon. Talk. Let's go. Okay.
Yes.
All right, Talk.
Yes.
You're angry. This is not unusual for me. This is not unusual for you. You are angry. You're angry about everything in the world.
Sure.
You are on the same and somebody is following you and your ship. So you are flying angry and you're trying to get away from them. So you need to make a control, because you're trying to keep yourself under control, a control con roll. So what is Talk's control?
10.
And what is Talk's con?
4.
So 14. You're trying to roll a 14 or under. So if there's something that you think, a focus you think you have, if you have evasive maneuvers or quick flying or something like that, or one of your traits.
Oh, yeah. Tactics, starship tactics.
Sure, yeah. And I'm going to be pretty easy on this. I'm not going to, again, this is all about narrative for us.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to be yeah, it's fine. It works.
I don't know if this would help, but I have a value to fly it like you stole it.
Yeah, but that would be something that if you wanted to use your point of determination, you could use it for that, because that fits in with your value.
Okay, well, I got an 18 plus what all that mess was, so that's probably good. But then I got a 3.
No, you want to go low. You want to roll low. You want to roll below the number.
18 not good.
18 not good. So you wanted to, because you had a 10 plus a 4.
18
you wanted a 14 or lower.
Yeah.
So and you had the focus of Starship Tactics. So that would have been 2 successes from your 3.
Yeah.
So you want to roll a 14 or lower. And let's say, just for an example, that this was an exceptionally fast ship, and the difficulty here was 3. That means Talk fails at his task.
What the fuck?
Yep, sorry.
Everybody else succeeds, I fail? Okay.
Yeah.
What about my value, though? My value of
that's when you would be, if you have your value,
you
can, that's your value is when you're able to spend your determination. If you have that 1 determination that you started with, if you spend that determination, you can do one of 4 things with it. You can spend it to roll a single bonus D20.
Oh wait,
this bonus.
Wait, I have a special skill.
Okay.
I have a special skill. Actually, I have a talent that if I get assistance from Isla, because Isla and I are family, we are Klingon Rusuktal family. If Isla assists me, I can re-roll 1 die.
Okay.
You know it.
So is Isla
up here? You want it?
Yes. Isla, how are you assisting Talk as Talk is at the controls of this?
Driving. Ship's
Breathe!
coming.
Just breathe! We're both very angry. This isn't a great assist.
Well, maybe the assist could be you get me more mad. You amp me up, you know? Nobody said I need to be calmer. I need to fly angrier.
Fly
I want to go to the weapons. I want to get on the guns. You keep flying.
Yeah! Yeah, you're security. That makes sense. So then I could re-roll the 18?
Yes,
basically?
you can re-roll the 18.
There are some very elevated heart rates in this room.
Yeah. So that's a 4.
Right here.
So that's 2 more successes. So what that means is your difficulty was 3. So you got that 3 difficulty, and you get a momentum because you have 4 successes, because the 4 also counts as 2 successes.
So using that talent, that would have been after I failed. I could have chose to use a talent, and then.
Well, yeah, because you guys kept rolling before I told you what the difficulty was going to be. So you guys were like, I'm rolling. And I was like, okay. Because normally I'm going to say your difficulty is 4. So you can choose to roll extra d20s, or if you may need to use your talent before or after. Yeah.
And then for the value. If
determination.
If Isla had not been in the room with me and I need to use the value, then I would have had to say, instead of flying it like I stole it, I fly it more carefully?
No, the way that you would use your value for this, the value of flying it like you stole it, is on page 87 of the book of the Star Trek Adventures. Whenever you can get to it, it explains how you can use that point of determination. So if you can use a value in that situation, which would be fly it like you stole it, you spend your point of determination to do one of the things. One of those things is grant the character a single bonus d20. This bonus d20 differs from most and is considered to already have rolled a 1, and thus generates 2 successes. You could have used it for a moment of inspiration. You could have spent it to re-roll all the character's dice in their dice pool. So that would have been either for the d20s or the d6s for damage. You can use it for a surge of activity. You could have immediately performed another task. Or you can make it so immediately create advantage that applies to the current scene. So make the scene better. But for you or your fellows.
But if I use my value, I can only use it once per mission. Is that correct?
Well, it's about the determination. So you start with 1 point of I'm going to start from the beginning on determination. You start with 1 point of determination. And this is what I'm reading from the book. A character's values can help a character in difficult situations. They often provide an additional push to succeed as the character's convictions drive them to achieve more than they might have done otherwise. Whenever a character is attempting a task for which one of their values would be advantageous, they may spend 1 point of determination. That's how you use your values. You're able to, if your value connects with what you're trying to do, you can spend up to 1 point of determination.
Got it.
So that's how that works.
So yeah, I could have done that. If Eiler had not been nearby to me to help me, I could have used my 1 point of determination to use my fly it like you stole it because you did.
And then you could have re-rolled both dice, or you could have just added 2 successes, basically.
Cool.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Thank you.
I have another question.
Yes.
Because before you explained it better, I had basically like the opposite view of the value. It's like, hey, your values are being challenged and you were able to, get through it while like growing. Okay, it is both.
So it's both. Because you start the mission with 1 point of determination, you just have it. But to gain more if a value that you already have connects with what you're doing, that's when you can spend your determination. If you challenge one of your values, that's when you gain more determination.
Now I understand. Thank you for clarifying.
Yep, no problem. So yeah, there's a lot of blah-blah-blah on this. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some rolls for combat, because that's something that might actually happen for you guys. Combat starts on page 169, chapter 7 of the book. I don't know if you guys have the book or the PDF, so wherever that is in that. So there are 4 distances. Close, which is basically melee. Medium, it is defined as any zone adjacent to the character's current zone. It's a distance of 1. 2, long range is a distance of 2 zones, and extreme range is a distance of 3. You have actions and tasks that you can do during this during combat. But what we're gonna do mostly is just cover making an attack. So we're gonna do this with Eiler again because Eiler is your security person. So Eiler, you are in this espionage and you see a guard coming down the hallway. You're gonna make an attack. Are you gonna wait and do close range melee, or are you gonna shoot? So choose your weapon.
I'm gonna shoot.
Okay. So I need you to make a ranged attack. This is a ranged attack. This is a control plus security, and the difficulty is 2. It is not opposed.
Yeah, it didn't mean to. Okay, so that'll be a 13. I'm gonna spend that momentum I just got.
Okay.
So I'll roll 3 d20s, right?
Okay, so what are your number is 13 is what you're trying to get under? Okay,
Right.
Cool.
Oh, I got 1 success.
Okay.
Jeez. These are D&D dice.
They want to roll high?
Oh, so badly. 17 and an 8.
Okay. Well, the task called for 2 successes. So unfortunately, you didn't roll a 20, did you?
No.
Okay, so
No,
there
it
was
was a
no
17.
like your phaser didn't blow up. So it wasn't
Right.
like that. It wasn't that bad. But you just didn't succeed. You miss and it kind of bounces off the hall and they kind of know you're here now. And you're like, frack.
Whoops.
Yeah. Whoops. Yeah. Let's try this again. Eiler, they shoot at you. This time. Okay.
I bob and I weave.
Oh, fantastic. You get hit.
Cool.
So this person is going to roll damage. If you are successfully hit by an attack during combat, a character may become injured. So you roll the damage dice, which is 2d6s. Okay. Now, we aren't playing unless you actually have the Star Trek version of the dice. You know what? As I figure this out, why don't you guys start introducing yourself and introduce your characters?
So I am playing Umbara Eiler. She is a Bajoran. So heads up, Bajorans have their surname first, so Umbara is her surname. She was pretty much born right in the occupation, and it really sucked for her family. She's an angry lady now, and pretty much joined the Maquis to keep fighting because, the occupation may be over, but there are still Cardassians out there, and gotta do something about that.
This is a not thinly veiled reference to all of us wanting to punch Nazis. We're just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah, this is us fighting against space fascists.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I am my name is Amelie. I use they them pronouns personally. My character is Teslan. Excuse me. I had to come up with a couple names for my character because Teslan is Trill, and he is a Trill host. And so I have his name. The symbiont's name is Kor, so his full name is Teslan Kor now. And his original host, I came up with names as well for that. And he actually is Starfleet. He very, very recently left Starfleet with his captain's blessing. Is officially reported missing in action from Starfleet, and is acting as this ragtag group's medic.
Hi, my name is Janaya. I use she, her pronouns, and I am playing June Clark, who is the ship's engineer and one of the 2 permanent crew members. June was raised on one of the frontier colonies, so she's kind of been a engineer by way of learning on the job a lot. She spent a few years as an engineer aboard a freight ship, and then her home colony was ceded to the Cardassians, which didn't go great for them and really pissed her off. So she spent a little bit of time being really angry and trying to find a way to fight against the Cardassians, and fell in with the ship's crew a couple years prior to game time.
I'm Pax, she's they. I'm playing Ambara Talk, son of Korath. Yes, Ambara, same as Eiler. However, we are brother and sister-in-law. So I am a Klingon. I was an opera singer, traveling opera singer, when I met my husband, Ambara Wren, who is a Bajoran. I let him escape the Cardassian occupation on my ship. We fell in love, and then he brought me back to Bajor, where I fought in the Resistance. He was killed, so I'm here for revenge. I'm the helmsman, also one of the permanent crew members with June. And yeah, I'm really excited to be reunited with Eiler, my beloved sister. And we're going to get revenge on those Cardassians and those frickin' Starfleet do-nothings.
Okay.
You're okay, Tesla. Probably.
Yeah, Tesla will be okay.
I'm here to punch fascists with
Okay.
a big,
So
cool,
technically-
ceremonial knife.
None of us are using challenge dice because we don't actually have the Star Trek Adventures dice. A D6 results. This is how it works. A 1 is a 1. A 2 is a 2. A 3 and a 4 are blanks, so they're zeros. A 5 is a 1 plus an effect. A 6 is a 1 plus an effect. So I rolled a 5 and a 6. So technically that's 2 damage plus an effect. And what that means is if this character was using a gun that had like vicious or one of the things on here. So 2. That is what we rolled. Do you have any resistance dice? You don't have any cover or anything, Tyler.
No,
what is your
doesn't-
resistance?
Where is that? That's a thing I don't see here.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, if you're not wearing any armor, you wouldn't have any resistance.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Just close.
Reduce the total damage if there's some more damage remaining. So, you get 2 damage that comes out of your... what's it called? I can't think of it.
Stress?
Yep, that's it. Stress. Now, if you take 5 or more damage from a single attack, after reduction from resistance, you get an injury. You're not injured, your stress goes down. If the character is reduced to 0 stress by that attack, they suffer an injury. If the character had 0 stress before the attack, then that character suffers an injury. So you are not injured yet, but your stress track is going down.
Right.
And then injuries, that's when things get bad. An injured character cannot attempt any task, nor can they perform any minor actions, aka you are incapacitated.
Right.
You are out of the fight. You can't participate in the scene any further. You cannot be targeted by any further attacks, unless the attacker adds 1 to... Uh-oh, who did we lose? We lost Pax. So... There are ways that injuries can be dealt to avoid or lessen. You can spend determination, or other people can come and heal you, and then you can become uninjured. So that's sort of combat. So Eiler, let's see if we can hit them this time. Would you like to do this with your phaser still, or are you going to run up on them?
I'm gonna run up on him. I've got
Okay.
a vicious right hook.
So here's the fun part. This is a contested roll, I believe. Yeah, the target's daring and security. Okay, so it's daring plus security. What is your daring plus security?
15.
Okay, so you try and roll 2d20s and you try to roll 15 or under.
2 successes.
Okay.
And I have hand-to-hand combat as a focus, so that becomes 4.
They rolled 1 success. So, you have made a successful attack, because 4 minus 1 is still 3. That still hits. So, you miss with your phaser, they hit you with your phaser, you get mad, come up and punch them in the face.
I also have the mean right hook talent, so this gets the vicious damage.
Okay, so what are your damage die for this? It'll have a number next to the Starfleet symbol.
5.
Okay, and then, so what will happen is, if you roll a 5 or a 6, that's when Vicious gets activated, because that's the effect.
Cool, but it's still rolling 2d6, right?
No, you roll 5d6.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, the 5 plus, it's like the Starfleet symbol, that little arrow thing, that means 6s. So imagine that just meaning d6. So you roll 5d6.
Rad. 2 5s, a 6, a 2, and a 3 is a blank, right?
3 is a blank. So that's a 2. So that's 5, 5, 6, 2. So that's 5 points of damage plus Vicious. What does Vicious do?
It adds, I don't know, that's a good question. My unarmed strike has the Vicious 1 damage effect.
Does that mean that you get to roll an extra d6?
Let's find out. Love when the index doesn't say it.
Trying to find
Damage.
it.
178 to 179.
Vicious. The attack inflicts X additional damage for each effect rolled. You rolled 3 effects.
So 3 extra damage.
So 8. 8 damage to this person. Whoever it may have been. They are injured.
Yes.
Because it was more than 5 or more damage. You injured them. They are knocked out.
I'm just not gonna use phasers. I'm just gonna go for a brawl approach for everything. Everyone cool with that?
If the character suffers 5 or more damage from a single attack or hazard after reduction from resistance, which they didn't have, they are injured. You knocked this guard flat the fuck out.
Glass jaw, man.
Yeah. So that's sort of how combat works. Is everybody kind of clear on that? I know it's a little bit more confusing than combat in D&D, but I hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to be a little bit less on combat and more just about storytelling.
I'm gonna try to avoid combat because I suck at it.
Okay. The next thing...
I will happily run in and punch someone for you.
Yay.
June's gonna be over there and be like pointing for Eiler. That one.
That one.
Go punch that one. Where is... Starship rules. Here comes the important part. How to run a starship. So, your starship, which is called the Wren, I shared it in the Discord. The one I actually typed up. This is the one I wrote. So, the way it works for you guys to be at your stations, so, engines, that is engineering, that's June. We know that. Medicine, that's Teslin. We know that. Con, that's Talk, and security, that's Eiler. Those are your stations that you're important. Science and command, an NPC will handle both of those. So, the way it works for you, if I say make a computer's sensor security roll, that's 14. The person making that roll will be Eiler, because Eiler is the one who is in charge of that system.
Sure. Oh, 2 15s.
Okay. So, luckily you didn't roll a 20. Yes.
So, real quick, because Teslan actually has its security experience, is there any way that I can support?
Unless you are at the tactical panel with Eiler, then probably not.
Okay.
Yeah.
I tried.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So yeah. So that's how that works. If you know, something like that, we're using the ships, making fight. We'll deal with ship stuff later. Because it's always, anytime you're playing a sci-fi game, you always have to bring ships into the play, and I'm like, it's kind of big and complicated. And again, like I said before, we're not using the exact rules. I'm just going to make some stuff up and use this as a skeleton and put my own meat and bones on it, because some of these things I find a little too crunchy and a little kind of dumb. So I'm doing what I want to do as a ST, and I'm pretty sure the people playing this game won't care as long as it tells a good story.
Word.
Yeah.
So
You will not violate my expectations because I have none.
yeah. So does anybody want to talk about their character some more? Because this is technically the reason we were doing this session 0.5, because we've already had session 0. We've done some character creation and stuff like that. Was for you guys to get used to the rolling dynamic and the mechanics of the game, and for you guys to introduce your characters. Does anybody want to speak more about their character, or does anybody want to create more bonds between the characters that we already have established through some either role playing without rolling, or do you guys want to roll dice? It's up to you guys.
I would honestly love to do a little bit of the role play of Teslan coming onto the ship for the first time.
Okay, we can do that.
Ooh, yeah.
Remind me though, so June and Talk are permanently on this ship,
Yes.
but Eiler and Eslin are coming through, but Core used to be pretty common on the ship.
So, Ansley, that's what I named her, right? Yeah, Anzi,
Yes.
Anzi. Anzi used to be a pretty, if you have been on this, working with this cell of the Maquis for a while, you would have met Anzi.
Okay.
And so Anzi is is Core's previous host. Core is a rather young symbiont. Teslan is only its second host. And so Anzi was Core's first host. And Anzi, when I imagine her, I think of the first episode of Firefly with the old lady who's running the planet and cheats the crew, tries to cheat the crew out of everything. That's what I am, right? Anzi looked like grandma, but would kick your butt. And Anzi was she ended up actually becoming a sniper for the Maquis cell. And so that's what if you remember Anzi, if you interacted with Anzi, that's what you remember her at.
Okay.
She was full of honor.
How well did I know her? I know we knew each other sort of well, but I'm not clear on the details of that.
Yeah, how well do you want to have known her?
Okay, fair enough.
I think maybe because I know two of them very, very well already. It might be better if I didn't know her very well yet, because
and just knew who she was through.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah, but it's I think it's a more interesting narrative for me if there is a newcomer.
Yeah,
actually new and doesn't know it. Yeah, okay, you are new because we don't know you, but if your host knows us so well, then it's not the same of allowing the audience to get to know our world through your eyes, since you are the stand. You're
right.
But but I can't speak for anyone else. Maybe Isla has been working with you. I don't know, or her.
Well, I was gonna say in that case, maybe both Anbaras shouldn't know Core, because it's 2371. The Maquis were founded in 2370, and Eiler spent a bit of time with the Khanma before joining the Maquis. So this could be like she's fairly new to the Maquis at this point, and now is getting onto this ship.
Yeah, I think
legendary.
that actually. Yeah, I think that if Ambara is coming onto the ship as security, she's replacing Anzi.
Right. That makes sense.
And so, I think it actually might work out better if Core and June were the ones who knew Anzi. I'm sorry. Talk. I'm sorry. I'm getting names confused already. There's too many of them.
New names, new people. So I think what Ari was saying is that we didn't know, because the Ambara is me as well, because I'm also an Ambara by marriage. So like we didn't really, but maybe before I joined, maybe Ansley worked with June back in the day. And so maybe June kind of knew you or knew her, and I knew of her because she was fucking legendary. She's this amazing person, and we were so excited, to get to work with her. And who are you?
Who are you, and why do you have Starfleet issued trousers?
Yeah, don't like that.
Yeah.
We were expecting this like legendary leader of the Resistance, this person who was known, and then. What
happened?
So this is
Starfleet flunky comes on my ship,
So this is how we're gonna do. We're gonna start our actual role playing of this game. You guys, the Wren has not docked at this particular Maquis cell yet, at where you guys will be meeting. But both Teslin Core and Ambara Eiler are waiting in the same port, basically, to go to the Wren on their latest mission. For Eiler, for Ambara Eiler, this is their 3rd, 4th, 5th, whatever mission with the Maquis. For Teslin, it's 1. And so you guys are both kind of sitting there. There are a few other people that are going to be joining the crew. It's just kind of that thing where you're sitting in a waiting room, basically. You're waiting for your bus to show up. You're waiting for your train. And, Eiler, you see this fresh-faced, wearing Starfleet-issued trouser pant wearing fella with dots down his side.
Just immediately thinking that kid's gonna die.
Oh, he's got glasses.
Immediately thinking that kid's gonna die.
Oh my god.
So does Isla just kind of look over and go,
Yeah, just kind of like, especially you're still in Starfleet outfit?
No. So I'm wearing something a little less stand-outy as far as like my top, but my trousers are that slack, and yes, it has the crease.
Probably gets a second glance because of the crease, and that's just like... Just visibly.
I see you looking. I see you looking at me. Like I'm just kind of like nervously looking around, and nobody's really paying attention to me. But you've seen me, and you're reacting to me. And so I'm just gonna. Hi. I'm new-ish, sort of. I'm waiting for the Wren.
The Wren, huh?
Yeah. I'm the new medical person. I'm the doctor.
You're sure the Wren?
Yes, I see. What happened was I actually became. I studied xenobiology, and I think the Wren is a bird that's on Earth, and that I'm pretty sure it's the Wren.
Sure. There's a whole lot of like, she gets very kind of extra closed off.
Yeah, what does Eiler look like, by the way? Like, what is Eiler's haircut and what? Yeah,
That's a good question.
is she big and buff, or is she just like small and scrappy?
She's small and scrappy. She grew up during the occupation.
Yeah,
That
malnutrition.
Yeah. Very wiry. Definitely not buff even a little bit. She's also like in her 40s, so she's got that very much like, I've made it this far vibe going, and the other half of that vibe is, I will make it further, so stay out of the way. Probably like, we'll go with short brown hair. Feel like she's probably just kept it short after Bajoran lice outbreak in when she was young. Just kept it short. Obviously nose ridges. She wears the earring.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess she's in horrible 90s clothes because Bajoran style. But you know. Just regular clothes.
Teslan is actually so some of the actors that I looked up to base him off of, he kind of looks like a combo of Neil Nitin Mukesh and John Abraham and Arjun Kapoor. So he's got kind of like the lightish brown. You can't necessarily tell if it was all Earth. You wouldn't necessarily know where he was from, and he's got green eyes, also brown hair, and it's kept in a very, Starfleet. He kept it nice and trim, but he does have like a little cowlick in the front.
Yeah.
And yes, he always has his glasses, because not for corrective sight, but all of his data is connected to the glasses, and so that's where he gets the readouts. So yeah, he looks like a tiny little nerd.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I know. But so yeah, he's I'm very sure that it's the Wren, because I am. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is I've been given my orders to join and help, and because what rebellion doesn't need a good doctor on hand, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, I would have really loved to have one when I broke these 2 fingers a few years back.
Oh well, let me take a look.
No, I'm good.
Are you sure? I mean, I might have something in here that did it heal correctly? Do you need me to reset it for you?
Want to re-break these fingers?
I mean, I could fix it real quick.
I think I'm good. I mean, I can hold a phaser, and really, what else do I need to do, right?
Okay. Offer stands for as long as we're both here, I guess.
Sure, yeah. And I assume on the Wren too.
Oh, are you gonna?
Yep.
Oh, excellent. What position are you filling?
Oh, I mentioned the phaser.
Oh, well, I mean, I have a phaser, and like, you notice a curiously long bag in addition to like my sack, you notice a curiously long bag. It could be carrying anything, but it does happen to carry a fairly long rifle inside of it.
Well, that's gonna catch her attention a whole lot more.
Not the person, the rifle.
Yeah. Why is the big?
It's in a bag. Like it's a fairly nondescript duffel.
Okay.
But
Is it kind of sticking out at an angle where I could be like, that narrows it down a little?
well, it's the only thing in the bag, so like you can definitely see that like the butt of it is at a different. It's not packed evenly.
I will say, let's do this. This is a difficulty of 1.
Okay.
Eiler, make an insight security roll.
Ooh, 2 successes.
Okay, yeah, that means you get 1 momentum. Yeah,
Nice.
this is a rifle in this bag.
And you said you were a doctor.
I can have bad days.
All right. Sure.
Yep, that's a reference.
So, I mean, come on, kid. You were... How long ago were you Starfleet?
You can tell?
Get new pants.
I'll work on it.
They're ironed.
Of course.
Of course. Yeah, that's how I know.
Look, I am a damn good doctor. I know what I'm doing, and I believe in this. I know I can do this, and I have every reason to hate the Cardassians just as much as you do.
No.
I'm sorry, my thing actually fell out. What did you say?
Spill.
They killed my kids.
Literally give him a once over up and down.
It's a long story, but my family, I hate them. And I will not let you take that away from me.
So, as we're at this impasse of you guys just kind of nodding at each other going... The Wren has landed. Docked. Classic, I can't make the boop boop, and the doors open. The first person you see, Eiler, is your brother-in-law. Talk. You look in this room and you see Eiler talking to a shrill male. What do you do, Talk?
I don't see a shrill male. I see my sister, and I am like arms out, like ready to like we haven't worked. We have a hug. We have a secret handshake. And we're doing all kinds of. We're loud. Oh, it's so excited! Like, you know, just
Yeah. You haven't blown up yet?
I'm working on it. I'm trying. I would, but June won't let me. You know.
A few more people walk out, and then you see this human. What does Talk look like? Let's just get a description of Talk before we move to June.
Yeah. So Talk is a very large. So I love that Eiler's just a little teeny tiny, unfortunately malnourished and tiny. Talk is a huge, loud, gay bear Klingon. He's just hairy and big and you know, and
a majestic beard this man has.
Yes, majestic.
That Klingon.
And very and you know, and Klingons already have a lot of presence, but you can you might suspect there is something performative about his background because he is very loud and very big and just as they are. He full Klingon. No denying it. Yeah. So yeah, doesn't even see. Are there other people in this room? Who knows? Like my family is here. I am just so excited, and we're just like. Yeah.
So right in front of you, Teslin, this giant Klingon basically comes up and picks up the person that you were talking to, and is like,
yeah, roaring with joy.
Yeah.
Secret handshakes happening.
Eiler, what are you doing?
It's like punching.
Yeah.
It just looks like we're punching each other a little bit.
Yeah, it's like
Hugging, punching, it's fine.
Yeah.
A few more cucumbers walk out, and then you see a human female. What does June look like?
Think Kaylee from Firefly. So short, light brown hair, burning the moon pale skin, wearing what looks like the bottom of a set of coveralls and a somewhat dirty tank top.
So you see Talk being himself. You know Talk well enough to be like, yeah, that's what Talk does. Speaking to, going up to and hugging this person who was standing right next to a young Trill male. Now, the last Trill you knew was Ansley. You don't know who this is.
Anzi. There's no L.
Oh, sorry. Anzi.
Anzi, okay.
Yeah. It was Anzi. Now,
two questions.
Yeah, yes.
One, is there anything familiar about this Trill? And two, is the bag unique enough to recognize it?
The Trill you do not recognize. The bag, on the other hand, yes.
Okay. I walk up and sort of look down at the Starfleet issue pants, which are very distinctive. Hey, a quick question. Who'd you have to kill to get those?
What?
No, never. I'm just fucking with you. It's fine. I look up and see the bag, and my face kind of falls. And who'd you have to kill to get that? That bag, where did you get that from?
June. It's me. I remember how I told you about the symbiont in my spine?
Wait.
It's core. I'm in Teslin now.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was on the ship where you died. I saw your name on the casualty list. I don't.
Okay, so remember we were picking up the supplies from Starfleet. Remember?
Yes.
Okay, and there was a Trill doctor. That's me.
I'm sorry. This is gonna take some time to get used to. Anzi, or whoever you are, I don't. Are you the person that I knew then? I don't.
Yes, and
I don't
more.
understand how this works.
I know. June, and like I take June's hands.
Oh. Okay, so I see this. I see June is crying. I see this. Who the F are you touching June? And I get like push. Like I what did you do to her? I start pushing.
I'm gonna fall. You push me, I'm gonna fall over.
I'm real strong.
Wait, hold on.
I push Teslin. I'm like,
it's
what
fine.
did you do to her?
Wait. It's fine. I don't know how to explain it. They can. God. They can go into different bodies or something.
I'm actually gonna like mutter the one Klingon curse that I know. You know how curse words get traded around with soldiers?
Yeah.
And it's something like random, like your mother's balls, like.
I know him. I knew. I knew the person that they were before they died. I don't know how to explain it.
Turn to Teslin
It's
now.
complicated.
I'm looking at Teslin. You're a Trill.
Yes.
Yeah, yes, that's it.
Bots gave it away. Talk.
Yeah. Okay, I see. You were. Oh.
I'm host. I am. My name is Teslin Core.
Okay. Core? Core?
Yes.
Like Nancy? Core? D? Oh.
My name is Teslin.
I thought I got it when you explained it, but I'm sorry, I wasn't ready for actually seeing it happen. I processed what happened to you. I thought I did. You died, and I was okay with that. Not okay with it, but
June, I had to come back. I couldn't leave.
I know. I'm glad to see you. It's just I don't know how to feel about this. I've never been through this before.
I want to be there to help. Can we not be out here?
Yeah, let's go inside.
Oh, wait, hold on. Are you going to be on our ship? Like,
I'm supposed to be on the Wren.
Okay. Because we didn't know. I knew about Isla because, you know.
I might have the wrong call name on there. That Teslin. I go by Teslin Core now. That how my people. I am both. I am one. I am Teslin Core.
No, I just mean they don't tell us who's coming on board usually. You know.
You don't have a manifest?
No.
Okay.
I mean, technically we do have a manifest, but it's not what you would call correct or true in any way, so it's not very useful.
Yeah, I don't know about Isla because, you know, my sister, so we bend the rules a little bit. No, we like to know where you are, but I didn't know about you. Wow, so you're Core, huh? Core was a legend who died with honor, but you're here. I will have to think about this.
That's gonna be real tricky for him.
I hope that I can offer insight, and June, I'm glad you're here.
I'm happy that you're alive. It's just, like I said, this is gonna take some getting used to. I've never known a drill before, so I guess I wasn't ready for it to actually be a thing I would have to deal with. I guess I still wasn't ready for you to die in the first place. Much less come back.
I wasn't either.
Okay, that's fair. Do you remember who you were then? I don't...
Yes.
Okay.
I'm still working on integrating some of the memories. It's a little bit difficult at some points. But you know,
okay.
You guys.
I still have stories of the kids.
Yeah, I remember.
The last this scene is happening, and Talk and June, you see the last person kind of walk out and say, "I hate to break up this touching, whatever this is." June and Talk, you know who this is. This is your commander, the commander of the Wren. Vulcan female.
Mm-hmm.
Bald. Totally bald. Darkish brown skin. Her name is Talon. T''Lan. Talon. This is Commander Talon. A little bit more for for Talk and June, you're used to seeing her because she's your commander on the ship that you are on, the Wren. For both Teslin and for Eiler, a little bit more rough and tumble than you would expect from a Vulcan. She's like I said, she's bald. She has a scar going from like here to about like back here on her head. And most Vulcans that you see, you're kind of tall and lithe, and she's tall, but she's a little bit buffer. She's a little bit meatier than most Vulcans that you'd seen. And she goes, "But if you don't mind, I'd like to get on with it." Everybody
Yes,
here?
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Skipper. You got it.
Sounds good to me.
She's like, "All right. We have... You guys," she kind of looks, she goes, "You have 8 hours shore leave. Then back on the Wren. New people, follow me." And she turns, so both June and Talk are allowed into this little colony, this Maquis colony that you're at, and to do any kind of shore leave that you would like to have. If you want to go back on the ship, you're more than welcome to, but you are allowed to go get food and all that stuff. But the new people, it's you, it's Teslin, it's Eiler, and 2 other people. They both kind of nod, stand up, and follow Captain Talon back onto the ship. And then we will pick up from there when we actually start playing with episode 1, session 1.
Before Eiler gets on the ship, she just kind of like hangs back so that she's the last one to get on, and just turns and smacks Talk's arm, and is just like, "The Wren? Really?" And then walks onto the ship.
And the audience will find out what that was about next time.
So I want to thank everybody for sticking through us figuring out mechanics of the game. And like I said, we'll be using the very, very, we're using Star Trek Adventures Light, basically. We're using the very bare essentials because I hate games that get too crunchy for their own good and they get in the way of narrative. Yeah. I would rather the narrative be there and have my characters, have my players, like you just saw. I barely had them do anything, but they just bounced off each other and did the role play. I'd rather that happen in this specific game especially than me being oh, make this roll, oh, make this roll, oh, make this roll, because then I'm interrupting all the time and all this good character shit's happening and I don't want to stop that. So
didn't you let me roll to attack the little skinny doctor?
Well, he just gave up. He gave up. He just fell over. He just fell over.
Eiler was straight up you're gonna die sooner than I thought. Popcorn.
Skinny doctor had no chance. That was a thing of 0.
Yeah.
Challenge 0.
Difficulty class 0.
It's a difficulty 5 task.
Yeah. As you guys can see, this character is a little different from Robin.
Yeah.
Robin immediately solving a new.
Mine's a little bit different from Jack.
Yeah.
Yes, and we all want to thank Janaya for joining us on playing Star Trek Adventures. So you guys know, if you're a regular YAAS watcher, you know Amelie and Ari and me and Pax, but Janaya is stepping in to play Star Trek because we were looking for people that want to play Star Trek Adventures, and Tanya was like, "I have a friend," and we said, "Hey, you play this game?" And she said, "Yes."